And we are live. Welcome back to the Sports Doyens IPL pre-match live. We are going to talk about the Sunrisers Hyderabad versus Kolkata Knight Riders. I have the Sunrisers Hyderabad fan back on demand. Anurag Pesara fan club का कल demand आया ही था, and Anurag Pesara is here back cheering his Sunrisers Hyderabad. There is Afzal here once again, जिनकी commentary आप बाद में सुनने वाले हैं. There is Vipul, the CSK fan who turned up one day late. Sumedh is there, as usual, trying to promote the fact that his team was there at the top of the table for a day. And then there is Atul as well, who is pro all IPL teams who have Indian captains. And then my agenda is very clear as well. So welcome to all of you guys, and welcome to all our viewers joining us today. काफी interesting match है. The tournament favorites, if I would like to say, put it that way, Sunrisers Hyderabad, massive squad. They went into the IPL auctions to enjoy the buffet, and I think they came back with a much more stronger team, to be honest. And talking about KKR, they couldn't even enjoy the buffet. Poor guys did not have the money to spend on the players either. So that was pretty tough for them. But coming first straight to Anurag. Welcome back, Anurag. Your first thoughts on SRH? I mean, as a fan, how excited are you that the season's finally beginning?
I am excited that the season did begin a couple of days back for me, at least obviously for everyone. I, so as far as today's game is concerned, I think there are plenty of permutations and combinations besides the usual ones which sort of hog the limelight, which
Yeah,
still needs to be settled, and that you will find maybe if not solutions to, maybe a little more clarity as to whether or not certain things are working. For example, Kedar Jadhav in the middle order. I personally think he might start today. So उसको experiment करेंगे, then they'll get to know whether or not if he's going to be a long-term option as the tournament goes. And because Vijay Shankar had a blast of an outing in the practice game a couple of days ago. He scored a 95 out in 40 balls, and he was facing the likes of Mujib and all. So that's decent enough. I mean, I know if even if any IPL team is split into two, it's definitely going to be two good teams, right? So you can sort of take that performance into account and say, okay, the guy is sort of hitting the ball well, and he's in Chennai, and the game is in Chennai, his home ground. So okay, when I think about the home ground factor, maybe Vijay Shankar could play ahead. You never know. It's gonna be tricky.
yeah.
Yeah, I actually forgot the fact that we are playing in Chennai today. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Very excited. Last season, it didn't start well. Towards the end, it was quite optimistic. Things got really brilliant, and that was because of Kane Williamson being in the 11 and providing that versatility that he brings uh, into the game. And
Yeah.
I hope the management doesn't do any more blunders like that and start playing with a Bairstow who's not very good in spin conditions like that of Chennai. With due
Yeah.
respect to Bairstow, all the agenda, I know we went out harsh on Nathan and on a couple of our lives saying none of the English batsmen should be playing. But that's not the main agenda. That's definitely not. It's just that we want. I mean, I would just prefer Kane Williamson over anyone else because he he can give you a 35 40 balls 60 65, but at the same time he can give you a 45 ball 50 on a track where 130 is sort of very difficult to chase. And I
Yeah.
think a fact that a lot of games are going to be happening in the same venues on even sometimes even 2 3 days in a row,
Yeah.
factors like this come into picture. And I think games like these 120 130 chaseables, these are going to come into picture a lot more. So it's gonna get really exciting as the tournament goes on.
Indeed, it is. Quite an interesting point of view there. That Vijay Shankar could still play. I guess I probably agree there as well. That maybe Vijay Shankar has a chance. Would rather prefer to see how Kedar Jadhav works out in the first place. I mean, they got him in the auction. There's been this versatile ability that Kedar Jadhav has again to perform in different kinds of situation. To add to all of that, the Williamson versus Bairstow debate, which we will definitely take on board as well. But coming first initially to Vipul, the guy who called out the Knight Rider very famously. Vipul, Knight Riders are beginning their season today, and a very tough opposition. I think the one of the IPL favorites, and obviously They will be boosted by the arrival of Shakib Al Hassan. That will be a massive, massive boost for them, especially in Chennai. Their bowlers recently, Prasidh Krishna has done well for India, so I think that is something you could take back into the in your armory. The mystery bowler Varun Chakravarti, who's performed so very well in the TNPL over the years, is also going to be there. Harbhajan Singh might make his KKR debut today, so lot of good things for KKR to look forward to as well today.
Yeah, as you mentioned earlier, that they didn't had much to spend at the auction, but I feel still they did really well because I think they had Gill already, they had Nitish Rana who will definitely bat at three.
Yeah,
Rahul Tripathi is a good option as an opener, but just in case if you need a backup, they have got Karuna in now.
yeah,
So yeah, that's a decent enough option. I mean, his domestic record over the years has been good, and also I feel the other important buy for them was Harbhajan Singh, which I mean, if they had played at the Eden Gardens, it wouldn't have made such a huge difference. But now here in Chennai, he is someone who's had 2 seasons with CSK, so his experience can be crucial. The most important point for me is getting Shakib Al Hasan because
yeah,
last year, look, clearly they were struggling with the batting order, and one of the reasons for that is they didn't have someone who can bat at number seven.
yeah,
That's why, because I mean, Narine, yeah, maybe he can do a pinch hitting, he can do a bit of pinch hitting for you at the top, but he's definitely not good enough at seven. So they, instead of having somebody else at seven, they decided to promote him at in the opening, and then at number three, number four, number five, they tried various options. But I still feel Morgan, DK, Russell, these three guys need to bat four, five, six instead of five,
yeah,
six, seven. Because if these three bat at five, six, seven, then you are basically doing injustice to their batting talent. All three of them are capable of winning you games on their own. So yeah,
yeah,
I mean, right now this top six looks good. You cover an all-rounder in form of Russell. There's a wicket keeper in form of DK, and Shakib Al Hasan. I personally feel they should bat at number seven. I feel that's where he'll be more handy. Maybe he can play a few cameos in the low middle order. And
yeah.
KKR, I think they are going to play 3 games in Chennai. So Shakib Al Hasan along with Varun Chakravarti, and then either of Harbhajan Singh or Kuldeep Yadav. We can see this
Yeah.
spin trio on Chennai tracks from KKR.
Definitely, we can. I think you talked about Kuldeep as well. He will also be an important part of this setup. Hopefully, someone who can step it up because we saw कि जब he was playing for India, जितने जोर से he was screaming, the longer the ball was going. That was something that was very, very noticeable, very
Yeah,
disheartening as a cricket fan.
especially in Chennai, I guess this is the pitch where probably he can get his confidence back as a T20
Yeah,
bowler. Because
yeah,
on this Chennai track, I don't really see the meaning behind playing a fourth seam bowling option. They
yeah,
already have Cummins who will be playing for sure. I think Russell will give you 2 3 overs almost every game, so they
yeah,
can choose anyone from Krishna, Nagarkoti, or Mavi. And then apart from that, you have Shakib Al Hasan and Varun Chakravarti will start probably today. And
yeah.
yeah, then the third spinner, as I said earlier, can be either Harbhajan or Kuldeep. So basically, what you have is you have three fast bowling options, and at the same time, you have three spin bowling options where you have a mystery spinner, you have a left arm spinner, and you also have a left arm wrist spinner. So that adds a lot more variety to their attack.
Fair enough, Vipul. Yeah, I think that does add a lot of variety to the attack. Also, Kuldeep के लिए जानना important होगा because Chennai has longer straight boundaries than most other cricket grounds in India. So maybe if we bowl that slightly longer, it will help
Definitely
him.
longer than what we saw at Wankhede yesterday.
Yes.
Ah,
I will ask Vipul about the CSK game later on. We will talk a little bit about that. वो ऐसे जले पे नमक छिड़कने से वो जो एक मजा आता है वो और कहीं नहीं आता. But fair enough. Let's move to Atul first. Atul, this has been the debate of the hour, debate of the I think the season, I guess, that Johnny Bairstow versus Kane Williamson. A lot of people obviously have their opinions, have their sides, and it's quite baffling to be in this situation probably as a coach or as a captain because you don't know whom to select. You know that Bairstow provides you something that probably only a David Warner can do in this setup. And I think both of them, if they start going at the rate of knots at the start, especially on a Chennai wicket, which becomes more difficult to bat on later, it will be much easier for Hyderabad to get a good score or even chase one. But then on the other hand, you have someone named Kane Williamson, who is probably an all-season player who can do multiple roles. He's also the captain of his national team, so he has that little bit of guidance to give to David Warner in situations as well. He's someone who can, as Anurag said, score a 30 ball 45, 50, or even a 60 in 30 balls, and can also score a 50 ball 50 or a 50 ball 60 in the IPL, and he's that versatility and still the same amount of calmness in both occasions. What would you pick today if you were, David Warner, if you were the Hyderabad management? Who would you pick and why?
So Kane versus Bairstow is probably the biggest conundrum in this tournament going around. And if I am David Warner, my selection will be based on couple of factors. First is the pitch on which we will be playing today. अगर ये वही pitch होता है जो परसों use हुआ था for the first match, then I'll go
हाँ.
with Kane Williamson. Okay, because Kane Williamson is very good on slow pitches and on two pace pitches. So I'll place my bet on Kane.
अतुल भाई,
Yes.
चेन्नई में कोई सा भी आप पिच ले लो, वो बेस्टो के लिए तो अच्छा होने नहीं वाला है. I think Kane Williamson को खिलाना चाहिए.
Exactly, but if you are Bairstow, in his defense, he can say that I was the man of the series of the just concluded India-England series, isn't it? So he is in a fine form, and
which didn't have even a single game in Chennai.
Fine. It's fine, but it's India. I mean, Chennai. But you can also say in counter that Chennai is giving wickets which are more favorable to pacers at the moment. Not many spinners are picking up wickets there. So maybe Bairstow can be useful on those tracks. And the second thing which I will look for that which of these two batsmen are having a better session in nets along with Ridhiman Saha as well. Because if you are dropping Bairstow, then that means you have to place Ridhiman Saha as an opener. And if Ridhiman Saha is struggling as an opener, then I think Bairstow is an automatic selection for in that case.
Absolutely.
So
और अतुल यहाँ पे
these two will be the
ना
reasons.
अमित ने बताया कि सब शांतिपूर्वक चल रहा है, and now we have the entry of Atul Kumar Maurya, a very very passionate KKR fan. So वो जो शांति है ना, that was a calm before the storm. Now the storm has arrived, and hopefully along with him और एक आध दो storm आ जाए तो फिर बहुत बहुत हल्ला मचेगा यहाँ पे. Masoom is also added to the fact that the panel looks calm today. Multiple centuries against an opponent in the IPL. Warner versus KKR. Not the fact you want to be greeted with, Atul. I'm pretty sure about that. Post match में हंगामा हो जाएगा, अमित. हाँ, मतलब it can be हंगामा either ways, right? Imagine if SRH lose and Anurag's going to do the hangama, and if obviously KKR lose, we have Atul, Rohan, we have Pranav, we have a whole lineup there waiting.
रोहन भाई तो आज घर पे लाइट काट के बैठे हैं.
Since winning the 2014 final, KKR are yet to win a game in Chennai, is what Masoom says. Look at Atkumau coming in, and now KKR have hope and faith. Also, still not over Drew losing. I'm not sure who he's talking about.
Drew McIntyre lost to Bobby Lashley.
Okay, fair enough. Must be a sport that I don't follow. Just want now SRH to play Bairstow instead of Williamson, so the panel's head start to explode. Panel का head तो already explode होने ही वाला है, I think, regardless who plays, because वो conundrum जो है, it's like a never-ending answer until you can actually see both of those players perform. Maybe हाँ तो
that's one conundrum जो हमको भी लगता है भाई. मतलब as a KKR fan, even I believe that Kane Williamson should be the one starting throughout the entirety of the whole world. There shouldn't be any debate that okay, who starts? Is it Kane Williamson or is it Johnny Bairstow? So नहीं, as a like rational consumer, तुम कहते हो ना, rational consumer of the sport, you think Kane Williamson should be the one starting for Sunrisers?
Atul, question to ye as an opponent fan, I think question that we could ask ourselves is, who would you rather not want to see? Would you not want to see Williamson? Would you not want to see Bairstow? And I guess I would rather not want to see, if I see Williamson, I will be more scared. But if I see Bairstow, I will still be knowing that, okay, ki there is a way to actually get past Johnny Bairstow, and there are ways you can limit him. But with Kane Williamson, he has absolutely no limits. He's someone who is, he's proper. He's like amoeba. He can turn into different shapes and different sizes, and he can be absolutely fantastic in either way is possible. But Kane Williamson has all of these. Matlab, just does that one thing that you learn in science in school that you remember, right? So, in that sense, yes, he's like water. He can spread everywhere. He's very volatile in that sense. But coming to you, Sumed, talking about a little bit about KKR before I can come to Atul with the same. This was a question, right? Yeah, Vipul.
Yeah, before we go to KKR, I think as far as SRH is concerned, Warner, Williamson, Rashid Khan and Mohammad Nabi, these four guys, they must play all their 5 games in Chennai. I don't
Yeah.
think Bairstow should be considered ahead of Williamson, especially in Chennai, because we have just started the tournament and then we'll have 10 games in Chennai in a matter of around 18 to 20
What
days.
if?
So by the
What if?
time we get to the 9th or the 10th game, I think it will become even more difficult to bat on those surfaces.
I mean,
Yeah,
I have a
exactly. And
condition. Like,
also,
what if
if
Shah
we
fails?
Yeah.
हाँ
Okay.
अतुल
I will
भाई
have to moderate now. Atul.
हाँ अतुल भाई कुछ बोल रहे हैं.
I'm
like,
saying, like, what if
ये
Shah
वाला.
fails? Shah fails as an opener. What will you do then? Everything goes for a toss.
Look, the role for Saha has to be really clear because
KKR bandwagon, KKR bandwagon is here. We have Pranav Kotai as well. और हाँ मतलब प्रणव तेरा नाम देखा मैंने. We are going to come to the biryani battle once Anurag is also in, because I need the full I need the full panel to actually get into that biryani battle. But हाँ Atul, you were saying.
Yeah, so I was saying that what if Ridhiman Shah fails as an opener? What will then happen? Which will be the four forerunners that he will be playing in SRH?
well, it's better if Saha fails instead of Bairstow, at which at least you won't regret sparing a foreign slot over an opener. But yeah, I feel Saha, his role has to be really clear. In those conditions in Chennai, I think the role of an opener should be to maximize that power play with the new ball, because as the ball gets older, it gets even more difficult to hit boundaries. So Saha can be let alone free. He can just go out there and strike big right from the word go. And then Warner at the other end can be that pillar around whom that whole batting order revolves.
Fair enough, Sumit.
Yeah, I had a point to add that even if Saha fails, you will have someone like Manish Pandey coming in at 3, and he can still play his natural game, not worrying about that extra wicket that has gone down early on, because someone like Kane Williamson waiting at number 4 to control the innings if something happens. And I mean, for Bairstow, you need some pitch like that was in India England first Test match. And probably that kind of pitch is not going to come to Chennai for the next decade after the reaction that the Indian fans have had. So so that is going to be something. I mean, I genuinely hope Williamson plays this, but given our records yesterday with the team selection, I just don't have any fixed thing right now.
I mean, whoever saw Harshal Patel playing, whoever saw what happened in the last 2 days actually coming up. We never saw Avesh Khan playing as well. He played brilliantly yesterday. So quite a few team selections that have gone.
Also, I'll actually prefer Saha, the wicketkeeper, on those surfaces.
Yeah.
I mean, Johnny
Yes.
Bairstow is again a very good keeper,
True.
but Saha is better than him
Yeah.
on those pitches.
True.
Fair enough. Yeah. So yeah, I think coming to a little bit of KKR before we move back to SRH. Pranav has joined us, so has Atul. So I mean, first one for Atul here. Atul, KKR bowling lineup, we did discuss about this, and
एक तो दोनों लोग को अतुल मत बोला. पहले से मैं कंफ्यूज हूँ कि किससे बात हो रही है.
Okay, now we will have to make it
Moriarty.
Moriarty. Yes, Moriarty. Okay, so Moriarty, क्या लग रहा है when you look at the bowling lineup? Varun Chakravarti, Shakib Al Hasan are almost favorites to make it into the team. The third spinner is indeed a mystery. I mean, Varun is a mystery spinner himself. But जो तीसरा spinner है, उसका selection का mystery अलग है. You can go for Harbhajan. That is indeed a choice for you guys. Also Kuldeep Yadav, जिनके बारे में हमने बात करी अभी just थोड़े time पहले, that there are longer boundaries which might actually help Kuldeep Yadav in a pitch like Chennai, जहाँ पे ball रुक के आता है. But spinners have been tonked over the last 2 days, except for Krunal and Jadeja. Spinners have been tonked, but both of them being left-arm spinners, is that a reason again? So, काफी questions है in a different way.
Before we answer the question, I would just like to add one stat. Bhaji against David Warner and Manish Pandey has a brilliant record. I mean, he has got both of them batsmen like so many times in IPL. So just take that into consideration and answer the question. That's it.
Yeah, Moriarty.
I still feel that we might go with 3 pacers. Having Shakib and Varun Chakravarti in there, we might go with Shivam Mavi, Prasidh Krishnan, Pat Cummins, and Shakib being the fourth bowler. Andre Russell is also there. Uske alawa, we'll have Varun Chakravarti.
And Sunil Narine to open?
No, Sunil Narine to warm the bench. I like Sunil Narine as a bench warming, strengthening our team. I think I was like too vocal to mention it during our preview videos as well. I did it with Anurag only, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So if you think of it, having that luxury of getting Sunil Narine to the bench and just getting in Varun Chakravarti, because Varun Chakravarti proved himself the last year. And
Yeah.
even if they don't want to go with Varun Chakravarti for whatever reason, Harbhajan again comes next. क्योंकि ऐसे बात करते जाए तो I might end up at Kuldeep Yadav when the question goes haywire. So
Yeah.
all in all, being rational, I think Shakib is an option क्योंकि we talk about variety, so Shakib needs to be there, gives us the batting option, and he isn't like a filler bowler. He's a proper bowler. So Shakib and Varun as the spinners, and fast bowlers, the best options we have is Prasidh now, again internationally played for India, post that Shivam Mavi and Pat Cummins, Loki Ferguson on the bench. So, बहुत choices हैं, but hopefully we have that fast bowling combination with three and the spinners at two.
Fair enough. Fair enough choice there as well. And this is something that I think we talked about before. Ki this is Chennai where the ball does historically spin, but ऐसे अतुल ने भी बताया हमको previously कि in this season in the game that we saw last time, the ball did not actually favor the spinners as much. Maybe it's because it's very early on in the tournament. The pitch will start to deconstruct usually. I think in a period of time, and then we might actually see more and more of the spinners. But having said that, we know how good Harbhajan has been on this wicket before. Varun Chakravarti obviously plays in the TNPL. Shakib is class all over him. So I guess it's difficult choice for them if you want to pick three pacers. Again, whom do you pick between Mavi and Nagarkoti? So that's the question that we have been asking all KKR fans, which is a conundrum. But I think Shivam Mavi looks the more obvious choice because of his performance recently in the domestic season as well. So that's it for there. And I think Pranav, coming to you as well. Last year we saw, I think, one of the most baffling things. One was the captaincy switch that happened mid-season, which was still fine because we have seen it happen before as well. But for me, something that was even more difficult to swallow was both players wanting to play at number five, and neither of them wanted to play at number four. So, kya hai? Is this something that probably DK has said, ki now you take the captaincy or more responsibility, you play at number four, or maybe now Owen Morgan says, I am the captain, I play at five where I want to. So this is a question mark because DK himself stated he would like to finish innings more, whereas DK if he bats at four is still good enough. With Owen Morgan, similar case again. Owen Morgan playing at number five was your second highest run scorer last year, and if he plays at four, you know what he's going to give you. So is there a solution? Is there an amicable solution for this?
सोल्यूशन सिंपल है बट चूज करना चाहिए उनको. प्रॉब्लम ये है कि कोई सोल्यूशन चूज नहीं कर रहा है, प्रॉब्लम क्रिएट कर रहे हो. बट आई थिंक इफ विकेट्स फेल एंड दे डोंट हैव इनफ फास्ट बॉलर्स देन दिनेश कार्तिक कैन कम इन एट नंबर 4 एंड प्ले हिज नेचुरल इनिंग्स बिकॉज फास्ट बॉलर के अगेंस्ट थोड़ा प्रॉब्लम होता है उनको. अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट मॉर्गन कैन प्ले एट नंबर 4 इंग्लैंड के लिए भी, और नंबर 4 पे स्कोर कार्ड पे तो नाम उनका ही आता है, बट बिकॉज ऑफ बेन स्टोक्स ही ड्रॉप्स डाउन टू नंबर 5 एंड डज दैट थिंग. तो इंग्लैंड के लिए भी वही सेम है कि मॉर्गन डजंट प्ले एट नंबर 4, ही वांट्स टू, या ही प्रमोट्स अदर बैट्समैन. यहाँ पे भी वही सीन है, यू हैव गॉट रसल कार्तिक, सो ही ड्रॉप्स डाउन, ऐसा वैसा. आई थिंक अगर रोल क्लियर हो तो ठीक है, अगर रोल क्लियर ना हो तो फिर सब प्रॉब्लम होता है.
प्रणव, मैकैलम के डायरी में वो क्या रोल दिया है वही जानना बहुत मुश्किल है, क्योंकि लास्ट ईयर भी, आई थिंक लास्ट ईयर ऑल्सो, कि वो जो हो रहा था ना कि बैटिंग ऑर्डर समझ नहीं आ रहा था सुबह उठने के बाद कौन किधर खेल रहा है. सो वो इशू था लास्ट ईयर भी, एंड आई थिंक शुभमन वाज द ओनली बैट्समैन वाज प्रॉब्ली स्पेयर्ड अ लिटिल बिट आउट ऑफ इट. बट आई थिंक बाकी बैट्समैन का ये बहुत इशू हो गया था कि दे डिड नॉट नो वेयर दे गोइंग टू बी बैटिंग इन द गेम, which definitely has its own kind of pressures because you don't know what your role is on a consistent basis. You don't understand how you're supposed to prepare for a particular game on a particular wicket and what you're supposed to expect as a batter. So वो काफी difficult हो जाता है for a batsman, especially yeah, Sumit, coming to you here. Number 4 and 5 are one of the more critical positions in the batting order, especially in T20, because there are times when you have to play as an anchor. There are times when at 4 and 5 you're expected to do a role of a finisher as well. And both of these players we are talking about are first class players. Both of them are top quality players. You know that they're going to give you runs. But do you think this should be more situation based? Who plays where? Do you think a left hand right hand combination could go into the business? Say, अगर lefty batsman कोई नीतीश रन out हो जाए, so maybe Owen Morgan comes in. If a right-handed batsman gets out, maybe DK comes in. Is there a solution that could be made just on the basis of the situation, or should it be pre-planned?
It should be pre-planned in the way that how it has to be approached. Like even if it's pre-planned, the batsmen need to be made clear that this is what we expect you to come with, the approach that we want you to come with. I think it will also depend a lot on the number 3 choice that they are gonna make. Do you want to play Nitish Rana up with Shubman Gill and push Shakib at 3, keeping Rahul Tripathi at 7 as he did last time? Or do you want to have someone like Rahul Tripathi at 3 and keep Shakib at 7? Keeping or maybe Rahul Tripathi to open and Nitish Rana at 3, either of them. So those kind of things, when you decide on number 3 and number 7 conundrum, I think 4, 5, 6 will automatically fall into place. Yes, it will be a lot situational, but even when we talk about situation, as I said, the approach has to be made clear by Brendan McCullum, Abhishek Nair, and everyone in the KKR dugout. And that is something that will take this team forward if they want to go, because they are class players. We have seen them: Dinesh Karthik, Andre Russell, Owen Morgan. They don't need to prove to anyone how good they are. They just come with their names, right? So if we just need to trust them, need to make sure that this is the kind of approach we need, because sometime during the last IPL, I felt Dinesh Karthik and Owen Morgan went to play the same role at number 4 and 5. So none of them actually went on to attack at a very for a prolonged period, and that is something that we need to make sure. Yeah.
Fair enough there. I guess ये issue जैसे last year I think clarity का था, तो पूरे batting order में issue था. But especially when you look at Owen Morgan, it was really shocking because he had such a good season, and in spite of that, there were times when you did not know what he was going there and doing. So ये question marks है जो I think they will have to work on. I will take a few comments and then we'll come back and we'll discuss a little bit of a fantasy segment here. We'll just try to take our fantasy picks, who could be a captain or a vice captain, something that has been breaking all our heads, especially Reggae. I'm pretty sure something has come from Reggae in the comments as well. This is what Amit said last time. Top performers, AP and Atul Kumar Maurya, nominate 2 each is what he's saying. Shivam says, okay, Shasha Banks lost. It's WrestleMania. Okay, yeah, Kushagra, I'm not following WrestleMania. I think I have too many. I follow NBA, which I think you don't, so fair enough. Sunrisers Hyderabad for the win. Yeah, I think he does that as well. So, I mean, KD, fair enough. I mean, you follow more sports, big deal. I actually expected Brock Lesnar to interfere, is what he says. Jaane de bro, nahi follow karta PP. Yes, I don't. I genuinely don't. I expected King Corbin. Kushagra is here. What is nonsense? Okay. Amoeba was the last thing I expected to hear in the cricket podcast. I think it was the last thing that I expected to say in a cricket podcast, but it was just the spur of the moment. Daniel Bryan for the win today. Christie has added a little bit more biology to that. अभी माइटोकॉन्ड्रिया भी डिस्कस होगा. पीवी को मौका तो दो. तूने बताने के बाद मुझे दिमाग में आया कि ऐसे कुछ भी चीज एग्जिस्ट करती थी. So fair enough. There is no battle Hyderabadi biryani without aloo is the OG biryani. Yes, ये तो है. I mean, I pretty much
the fact that she had to write without and all that stuff, वो ऐसा उसका essence ले जाता है. And this is a vegetarian blabbering shit about some food.
Exactly. I mean, Atul, you're a vegetarian. I mean, fair enough. But ठीक है.
अरे opinion तो होता है vegetarians का.
ओपिनियन होता है भाई. तूने कभी खाया है कोलकाता और हैदराबादी का चिकन बिरयानी या मटन बिरयानी?
12 मैच जीते ना 19 में से तुमसे. शांत रहो.
That's the most lame argument would have come across. Fair enough.
क्रिकेट की बात करते हैं ना. culinary वाला चैनल नहीं है ना.
Culinary वाला channel तो नहीं है, but I think fair enough. I mean, I'm still going to give you a little bit of I think backlash there that you're going to get, but I think that's going to come later when we actually discuss about biryanis. If Saha fails as an opener, then Shrivats comes in as an opener. That's too far fetched. I feel last year भी हमने देखा Shrivats Goswami.
It's like openly shitting on Bairstow. That's it.
Yeah, I mean Jason Roy भी है अभी इस टीम में, so I guess वो भी आ सकते हैं. Shrivats Goswami is not the third option for you guys. Thane biryani is the best. Let's just settle this, is what Siddharth says. I mean, if Siddharth is talking about Garib Nawaz ka biryani, I mean, yes, that is indeed the best that I have eaten in my life. But मैंने अभी हैदराबाद जाके हैदराबाद का बिरयानी नहीं खाया, so I'm not going to comment at all yet. I would actually play holder because the Chennai pitch isn't turning as much as we expected it to. Also, Jamieson and Jansen did well. Yes, both of them did pretty well in the Chennai wicket. Thane ka sirf traffic best hai. Shrishti, you shouldn't go into that. Thane ke traffic signal pe milta hai biryani. That's the best. Yes, that is what me and Chad were talking about. Question for Anurag. How will you waste Williamson starting today?
I don't know that, but I know I will waste a lot of. I did waste a lot of time in the past by traveling to Thane. So yeah.
Ooh, okay. I mean, we are definitely losing subscribers from Thane for this very reason, but fair enough. Rege,
Bangalore से तो पहले ही गया है. It's fine.
Bangalore से पहले ही गए. We have one more city or one more small part of a city to piss off now.
Country, whatever you want to call it. Yeah.
Yeah. Done. Baji is a Dream 11 captain. Huh? I think good choice. Good choice. Moriarty is a bundle of joy and I love him, but Kolkata harega K black soil pitch for
प्यार
tonight in
से
the pitch.
चप्पल लेके चमाट मारा है.
Exactly. Look at this one. Black soil for the pitch for tonight, and the pitch has some bare patches. The surface expected to assist turn as a result. Expect both sides to accommodate the extra spin option. In 2019, Bhaji at Chepauk averaged 15.18 with the ball and conceded runs at an economy of 5.96. I did watch the game in that very season, CSK versus KKR, and वो
He was
काफी
also the man of the match twice in their 7 home games.
Yes, he was. I think that was also one of the games where he was man of the match. He picked up a lot of wickets, and Andre Russell tried to fight until the very end, could not put up a big score, and then it was Ambati Raidu and Faf du Plessis who picked it up. So, this pitch, has its own demons for the batsman who can't play spin. So, I think they will be expecting in that sense ki all of these guys play. Daniel Bryan wins, Harbhajan wins, celebration will be the same. uh, Sneha is in the comments. Welcome to the comments, Sneha. This is the first time that we have taken your comment. बेचारा Moriarty. Okay. अतुल भाई बता दे स्क्रिप्ट सुबह उठ के देखूं कि नहीं. Yes or no. Siddharth says Sony Live subscription भी दे दे. Okay, fair enough. But yes, I'm pretty sure Moriarty is not going to leak any scripts over here. But I will come to all of you guys with your Dream 11 or your fantasy picks on other competitions as well. Coming first to Vipul. Vipul, what do you think should be your ideal captaincy pick for today? Your captaincy and your vice captaincy. For me, yesterday it was a very, very difficult one to swallow because my vice captain was Faf du Plessis, who got out very, very early, and then the Rishabh Pant did not get a chance to bat long. So guess what? I did not win the contest. So, आज क्या लग रहा है? Who should be there?
I think we can have Bhuvaneshwar Kumar as our captain because he has been in top form recently in white ball cricket. So I expect him to take at least 2 or 3 wickets, if not more today. And वाइस कैप्टन तो क्या अभी चलो केकेआर से भी एक ले ही लेते हैं, फिर शुभमन गिल को बना दो और क्या.
ले ही लेते हैं फिर. It was such a beautiful line. I mean, yes, you did talk about captaining the future Lucknow Nawab's captain, which is something that Anurag is something not happy about, right? Like, वो जो comments आते हैं, you could just visibly imagine. Let them just let exactly. But ये भी बात है ना कि वो जो एक grin आता है तेरी शक्ल पे, वो लोगों को देखने में बहुत मजा आता है. So fair enough banter there. But
or
Anurag,
maybe we can just have Shakib Al-Hassan as the vice captain because he bowls, he bats, and can take a few catches as well, maybe.
Runouts as well. Let's not forget Shakib's good with the arm as well. But Anurag, coming to you before I go into the fantasy predictions with you, Bhuvaneshwar Kumar's return is so pivotal because last year he was exactly something that you guys missed. You have seen him before. His economy is brilliant. His average is brilliant with the ball. He's someone who, if need be, can score a few runs with the bat as well. So वो काफी important player बन जाते हैं. And because of the way he bowls at the start, at the death, Natarajan bowls were at the death. Sandeep Sharma bowls were at the initial part of the innings. So you have got a lot of variety in your fast bowling lineup, and then you have spinners to look forward to. And just that one player who has changed so much is Bhuvaneshwar.
He definitely is. He's not just an X factor player. Sometimes when it's needed, he's just going to take that second fiddle role, and he can just allow other players to shine around him as well. So he's just simply one of the most versatile cricketers there is. So it's wonderful to have him back. I think, in the last few seasons, if you notice, we've reached the top 4 and that's it. Nothing major has happened beyond that. It's at least we get there consistently, Pranav. It's fine. We are all over the top 4. We are at least consistent. It's fine. It's all right. 1 and 2, it's not hell of a difference. And we've had a title in the past as well, which technically belongs to Hyderabad as a franchise. So it's fine. Again. Coming back to the topic, I think Bhuvaneshwar Kumar for me can make a difference between SRH finishing in the top, 4-5 position, just about losing a toss, spot in the top 4 or 5 position to actually SRH finishing second or third, or maybe go if things go well, maybe even first. अगर कोई है वो difference maker in the team, I think for me it's Bhuvaneshwar, Kumar and Rashid, especially with the ball. हाँ.
Yeah.
क्या.
He was
I mean,
struggling
the very fact that he played now.
We finished first. Oh my god, he was struggling there because KKR finishing first. See, simple, straight line.
मैंने नहीं बोला ये क्लिप जब कटेगी तो सिर्फ प्रणव की कटेगी, ठीक है?
तेरी नहीं कटेगी, fair enough.
नहीं, but अनुराग ने जैसे मेंशन किया ना, having
Bhuvaneshwar Kumar has picked up 28 wickets against Kolkata, the most by any player.
अरे तो bro, I am not against the agenda of Bhuvaneshwar Kumar. I actually support it. But just as Anurag mentioned, having Bhuvaneshwar back, thanks to SRH, we have Shakib back. You know, someone who was a part of our team when we had the 2 titles. So all in all, I think हमारा X factor मेरे को लग रहा है शाकिब को या तो बनाएंगे, लेकिन किसी ने ये नहीं बोला भाई आंद्रे रसल को वाइस कैप्टन बना देते हैं, कैप्टन बना देते हैं. आंद्रे रसल कैन विन योर फैंटेसी लीग 6 बॉल में, ठीक है? दैट सॉर्ट ऑफ प्लेयर ही है. तो कोई गैम्बल करके एटलीस्ट उसको वाइस कैप्टन बना लो, उसकी बैटिंग कहीं ना कहीं से आई जाती है. जैसे हमारी दुख हो रहा है वर्ड यूज करते हो, बट कोलैप्स इज द वर्ड. हम लोग का काफी कोलैप्स हो जाता है कभी कभी, एंड इट कम्स डाउन टू आंद्रे रसल स्कोरिंग दोस रन्स. सो बना सकते हो तुम उसको ड्रीम 11 में अपने, या जब भी तुम फैंटेसी खेलते हो, केएल राहुल वाली व्हाटएवर. बट यार आंद्रे रसल एक बेट रख लो वाइस कैप्टन की.
बिल्कुल. और अनुराग का तो हमने वाइस कैप्टेंसी पिक हमको पता ही नहीं चला. आई एम प्रीटी श्योर द कैप्टेंसी पिक इज भुवी. आई एम अज्यूमिंग अनुराग is
I didn't say that. No, I didn't commit. You just asked. You said fantasy picks later.
Okay, so coming to your fantasy picks now, who would you go for your captain as a vice captain, and also a differential pick if you would like to suggest people?
My captain would be Bhuvaneshwar.
I can't swear. That's the problem.
I personally, I think I'm going to go as captain with David Warner, because he has done well in the past against Kolkata, and IPL is one of those tournaments where उसका अलग life आ जाता है उसके tournament में. So I think, and he's been incredibly consistent to definitely be considered for that spot. So for me, the captain would be David Warner, and at least I think vice cap. I think we're going to see a few runs today, so I think I might as well go with Shubman Gill for vice captaincy. Let's see.
Yeah. Fair enough. I think runs तो काफी बन सकते हैं आज, and there can be different kinds of runs that could be scored. With Warner, you will see more in boundaries. Shubman Gill से भी boundaries दिखेंगे, but I think we see a longer innings as well. So I think the points also matter according to that as well. तो वो भी काफी interesting रहेगा scenario. Anurag, any differential pick?
Yeah, differential pick. Yeah, I'm sorry, I forgot that. So I personally would go with me. I know a lot of people don't in the IPL, especially in the last 2 years, haven't really enjoyed Manish Pandey a lot. But he sort of thrives under no expectations scenarios like this. So maybe Manish Pandey could be one of those differential.
Yeah, हम लोग के प्लेयर ऐसे लेन देन करके आए ना, शाकिब वहां भी खेला, यहाँ भी खेला, मनीष पांडे यहाँ भी खेला, वहां भी खेला, ऐसे.
Kafi, I think this is the biryani connection, isn't it? I mean, can't really go deep into that because not a food channel. Atul, has kindly reminded us. But हाँ, ये biryani connection काफी अच्छे से रहा है, and this is like Mumbai CSK fighting for the Sambar challenge. I would rather call it, because apparently invented by a Marathi ruler. Yeah, it is invented by a Maharashtrian. Fair enough.
In that sense, okay, yeah, in that sense.
Yeah, in that sense. तो वैसे है, you could probably say that as well.
At this point in time, Sambar in Mumbai is just about qualifies as edible. That's it.
Yeah, fair. Yeah, if you eat it in Mumbai restaurants, yeah, I could totally agree on that. Pranav, coming to you, मैं आपको एक बहुत specific सवाल पूछूंगा. Which are the KKR players you think that the people should not pick in general, because वो थोड़ा हो जाता है कि there could be possibilities that people pick them as big names, but they couldn't possibly perform and could वो जो एक extra plate of value जो होता है, that 1 or 2 100 rupees more, whatever you call it, I think that 10 से 12 का जो एक difference होता है, उसमें those players tend to eat up your spots, and would you suggest कि you would choose instead as a KKR player?
I mean, Nitish Rana is inconsistent. So first match देख लो, if he scores 80, तो next match में नहीं लेना, उसके बाद वाले में लेना. If he gets out for a duck, then you can take him the next match. वैसे you have to pick him. Apart from it, I think bowlers में शिवम मावी या जो second bowler होंगे प्रसिद्ध, उसमें से you can only choose one because both of them won't give you that many wickets, especially if you have good spinners. एंड्रे रसल भी है, तो आई थिंक उसमें से भी थोड़ा अभी तो ज्यादा मत लो केकेआर के, दो तीन ठीक है अच्छे प्लेयर्स वही लो, ज्यादा मतलब मत करो यार, अभी दुख होएगा तुमको, हमको लास्ट ईयर बहुत हुआ.
You have to pick 4 players from either teams. I think that's the bare minimum number of players that you have to pick. So who would be the minimum 4 you would select?
So Morgan, Shakib if he plays, Russell is my captain. Fourth is Varun because of the pitch situation, and my vice captain is Dinesh Karthik. This is all emotional, guys. This is all emotional. It's not paid for. It's all
Thank you so
emotional.
much.
Don't invest if you don't believe in him. I do. That's why.
अगर आप प्रैक्टिस कॉन्टेस्ट खेल रहे हो तो बिल्कुल इन्वेस्ट कीजिए, लेकिन वरना इफ यू आर प्लेइंग द अदर कॉन्टेस्ट देन डोंट.
Yeah, it's
See,
not on me,
if
guys.
Dinesh Karthik comes up with an investment idea of Alu dalunga sona niklega, Pranav will definitely invest on that. And that's unconditional love.
That is unconditional love. अगर रोहन तो उससे भी ज्यादा अनकंडीशनल लव है. जहां डीके जाएंगे वहां मैं जाऊंगा. I mean that is the level of sacrifice that he's ready to give for Dinesh Karthik. Coming to you now, Atul Kumar, the latest debutant for us. The same question for you in SRH context. Which are the players that you would select as a minimum 4 players को जो एक slot होता है? You have to select those 4 players. Who would you go for and why?
So first will be obviously Rashid Khan. I mean, he's someone who can't miss any team. Second, Bhuvaneshwar Kumar. And the third one will be, I would say, Jason Holder if he plays. He will be a really fine pick. He has got a really good slower ball and which can be very effective on those pitches. So my third pick will be Jason Holder, and fourth will be if Johnny Bairstow plays, then Johnny Bairstow. Otherwise, I will go with Ridhiman Saha. I won't go with David Warner because I think this might not be his IPL by his standards, because this time around he is playing with a groin injury and things can be a bit difficult for him. So I won't be investing really highly on David Warner this time around.
Yeah, मतलब जैसे हम बोल रहे हैं Bairstow और Williamson, we might just end up seeing both of them and Warner might not play. I mean that would be the most ironic thing that could have happened. Also maybe Jason Roy plays and then फिर भी साला Bairstow को खेलने नहीं मिल गया और Williamson को खेलने नहीं मिला. Even that could happen, right? Like you could see Johnny Bairstow and Jason Roy, the English combination, open for Hyderabad, which will make Nathan absolutely happy if he's listening to this. तो ये भी हो सकता है. This could be possibly a choice as well. I think I'm left with Vipul and Sumit. So, to both of you guys, who are your captaincy picks going to be in this game? Vipul, coming first to you and then to Sumit. Any differential picks that I'd like, Anurag, you would like to suggest to the viewers?
Differential pick can be Varun Chakravarti. Can be, I feel. I mean, I don't know if many people are going to pick him, but on these surfaces, maybe he can be a huge factor. And I told you about my. Sorry.
And home ground for Varun Chakravarti.
Home ground.
Home ground, yeah. So he knows that venue really well. And captain should be Bhuvaneshwar Kumar. I mean, when he is in form, Bhuvaneshwar Kumar with the new ball, accuracy with line and length, he swings it both ways. Doesn't matter how good an opener you are, he makes you look absolutely clueless. I mean, I remember that third ODI in Pune when Jason Roy, I mean, during that whole first over, he was just trying to figure out कि भाई swing कौन से side हो रहा है, and somehow he was managing to push at the ball and still it was going for 4. But yeah, I mean, at his best, Bhuvaneshwar Kumar is definitely someone to watch out for.
Vipul, it's like कि Johnny Bairstow having that feeling कि चलो अच्छा Bhuvaneshwar मेरी टीम के लिए खेलता है.
Yeah, that is definitely the feeling there. Vipul, do you have any picks that you have made for the captaincy?
Bhuvaneshwar Kumar.
Okay, Bhuvi seems to be quite a favorite here. Coming to you, Sumedh, now, I think I've just seen it on the application as well, that Kedar Jadhav, Vijay Shankar and Kuldeep Yadav have been the players who have been the most unselected by teams. Because for obvious reasons, people might feel that I think either one of Kedar and Vijay Shankar will start is what I think the feeling in the camp is. So considering that,
I think once the 11s are out, I think that will change.
Once the 11s are out, that will definitely change. You still have time, as Siddharth Rege realized it yesterday, कि 11 announce होने के बाद भी तुम players change कर सकते हो. वैसे कोई problem नहीं है. Just a disclaimer for all of you guys.
He used to play Dream 11 2 years ago, पक्का.
Yeah, Pakka used to play 2 years ago. But today, at least, is the scenario as it stands that these three players haven't been picked. And especially, I'm a little baffled with Kedar and Vijay Shankar both not being there in the teams because one of them will definitely play. If given a choice, whom would you rather pick?
I would go with Vijay Shankar right now because of two things. One is as Anurag said, it's his home ground. He does it much better, and he has a 40 ball 92 coming in from the practice game, so that is gonna boost a lot of confidence for him. So Vijay Shankar over Kedar Jadhav at least for the Chennai leg right now. And overall, even I would go with a captaincy for Bhuvaneshwar Kumar and probably take a vice captain in Shakib Al Hassan. Shakib will give you bat and 4 overs with the ball on most days, so he will have a lot of chances to score points. Also, one more thing that like a completely different theory that I could bring in is who did perform in the first game, AB de Villiers, who did it in the second, Suresh Raina. So these players coming back from vacation, we brought it twice already in the last 2 days. So these players
Yeah.
coming back from vacation, who do we have coming back from vacation? Harbhajan Singh, Manish Pandey, who has been injured for a while. Varun Chakravarti hasn't had a game in a long time. Uh,
Yeah.
and yeah, so
Because
probably these three
they've
Kuldeep
got
players.
Yadav, Kuldeep Yadav for an eternity of vacation.
But
eternity of
but
vacation.
Yeah, it's been on the greatest world tour of all time.
yeah. So if these guys are picked, they could be the differential ones who might be raring to go. Also, I remember Dinesh Karthik talk about Harbhajan Singh. He had been mighty impressed with him, the kind of way he's been training. He has been turning up to the nets early than most other players, putting those hard yards in. Doesn't seem like someone who has aged with time. So that will be very interesting to see. He's still leaner, much fitter, faster on the field as per Dinesh Karthik. So he's been highly talked about on it. So that he will be the one I would look out for the most.
Definitely, and I think Harbhajan Singh has proved a lot of people wrong in the past as well. तो पता नहीं कि भजीबा वापस आ जाए and he might just deliver the same magic all over again. For
He
me,
might just come into the Indian team as well, ऐसे ही करते करते because maybe an
spinners पिट रहे हैं.
Ashish Nehra from the 2016 World Cup, he just came in with the wind. He might just come in with the wind
Yeah.
again.
काफी काफी इंटरेस्टिंग अपने यहाँ पे रेफरेंस दिया है आशीष नेहरा का इन 2016 वर्ल्ड कप आई थिंक बज्जीपा if he does make it there I'm pretty sure a lot of people who are in the line before him will be genuinely disappointed but if there is quality why not I mean why not have Harbhajan मेरे लिए personally I have selected Bhuvaneshwar as my captain because I feel it's just not the wickets it's dot balls it's the couple of sixes that he can potentially hit he's good with the arm as well he hits the stumps quite a few times तो वो भी एक रनआउट्स का फैक्टर आ सकता है तो मे बी दैट इज I've gone with भुवनेश्वर कुमार एंड शुभमन गिल एज अ वाइस कैप्टन मुझे ये भी लगता है कि नीतीश राणा could be a really good differential pick for captaincy because Nitish Rana, especially on conditions where the ball spins, and if you look at the opposition, you look at Rashid Khan, ball अंदर आता है. Mohammad Nabi, the ball goes out, but I think he still has good enough technique to deal with that. Nabi's pace is a little more quicker, so maybe Nitish Rana playing off the back foot will be more comfortable there, and he's good square on the offside. So Nitish Rana, I still feel even with the spinners and the bowlers that are there with SRH, there is a possibility that he might score runs today. So maybe he could be a differential pick for captaincy, just like it was Shikhar Dhawan for I think yesterday for a lot of teams, and the team which did win the most number of points did have Shikhar Dhawan as a captain too. So this could potentially be a chance as well. I will just take a few more comments, and they will come with the game itself and the final predictions for all of these lads. Um, Here is Shivam in the comments. He says Captain Gill, Vice Captain Warner batting, team batting second wins. Warner and Rashid was Shashank has said for captain, vice captain. Bajji captain and Nabi vice captain is what Siddharth has said. My captain was Shaw and vice captain Pant yesterday. What a night! Shaw played genuinely very well yesterday, and I think he has set his standards up for the entire season of the IPL. Russell versus Rashid battle to watch out for tonight. Yes, it will be a key battle.
Yep.
Warner versus KKR 912 runs at an average of 45.6, strike rate of 146.15. Before anyone said anything, AP went like kya hai. Movie is AKM ke baju ka banda is what he says. I think talking about where he lives, I guess he's from Meerut is Bhuvaneshwar Kumar. So maybe he's talking about where movie belongs from. Other battle to watch out for tonight would be Warner versus Varun Chakravarti. Yes, it will be interesting battle today. बेचारा काफी लग रहा बेचारा काफी लग रहा है दोनों टीम्स में, भाईचारा, सॉरी माय बैड, नाम चेंज करके खाना खजाना रख ले इज व्हाट ही सेज. Cricket pakodas, क्या बात अनुराग, two best picks bro. If SRH bat second, I will also captain him, but I hope KKR wins. Bat second, today's Dream 11 captain in Tarla Dalal. Lower order finisher Sanjeev Kapoor. Okay, this is getting. Sambar was first discovered in Thane. True story. Discovery and mastery are two extremely different things. What Kushagar has added. Top run scorer in the last 5 matches for SRH, Ridhiman had an average of 92.
Yeah.
Please join in 11:30 p.m. for the post-match MasterChef analysis. Rohan has come here to say, Jai Mataji, Reds lock. Hopefully, see you guys after the match. If I discover gold and use it, okay. Fair enough. Hopefully. Hopefully Gullu Baji shows up. What a dilemma taking Anurag's case. Over, I guess. Oye, mechanic sambar is Thane staple food. With AP's political joke, tasty conversation. The news channel is now complete. Sare segments cover ho chuke hai. Staple food, okay. Bahane seek lo. Okay, this is getting quite interesting. I'm just going to skip this whole sambar debate, I guess. Siddharth says go for a Rahul Tripathi after Ruturaj Gaikwad masterclass. Gonna bring Jose back. Reggae football nahi hai, doesn't work is what Shivam Pathak has said as well. Prathamesh will henceforth now only travel with the TSD team. PP will be the new Kuldeep is what he says. That's quite crazy. I agree with Sumit, ABD, Raina, and today Kedar Jadhav. Spurs 3-1 United. Shivam removed from ISM TSG for being unpardonable predictions is what he said. Kushagra the mechanic greater than Shivam the mechanic. क्या हो क्या रहा है यहाँ पे? Tell them all to go to the Ghaziabad at Raina Academy for perpetual timing. Okay, ये director होने के नाजायज फायदा उठाने हो रहा है. Okay, this is getting quite interesting. यहाँ पे बहुत interesting conversations हो रहे हैं. KD is greater than Shivam always. I will be wherever I wish to be is what Anurag has said. तब तो प्रवीण तांबे लेके आ जाओ. Anurag, come have biryani with sambar. Okay, then why? Okay, fair enough. So okay, यहाँ पे एक conversation अलग ही digress हो चुका था, but we'll come back to cricket again. Anurag, coming to you. The contest that you're really expecting to watch today would probably be Bhuvaneshwar Kumar against Shubman Gill at the start of the order. But as SRH, as someone who's one of the favorites for the captaincy, ये बात काफी इंटरेस्टिंग होगी because DC quite clearly put down standards yesterday, saying that this is how champion teams are going to play in the IPL. We're going to go there, have our say from game one and do really well. Mumbai didn't have such a good game, but I think if as a Hyderabad fan, you definitely want somewhere close to the performance that DC put out yesterday.
I think I lost your voice in the last towards the last sentence. If you could just repeat that.
I was just saying that maybe I think DC fans, just like DC fans expected it yesterday, probably Sunrisers fans will be hoping for a similar performance where you dominate KKR today, announce yourself as a champion team right from the word go.
That is a hope. मतलब अभी अब देखा जाए तो right from the outset, when we did the KKR live, although there was a little more optimism, there was also a lot of confusion, at least among the fans, at least the people who came in, because there are some genuine issues, and maybe it's not like it's unsortable. It'll just clear out as the tournament progresses for Kolkata, and as it stands, at least in the current scenario, SRH has a better clarity of thought, if I could put it that way. So going by that, yes, ideally SRH should do it, but you never know, man. If it's just a matter of an Andre Russell kind of a player clicking, and the game vanishes right from your palm even before you could realize it. I remember the 2019 opener against Kolkata. I think it's in the past we've played a lot of opening games against Kolkata for some odd reason. I think it's the fourth or fifth time of what I remember. Yeah,
Anurag, people talking about Varun versus Warner and Bhuvaneshwar versus Shubman Gill. Yeah. The only thing we are going to see today is Sunil Narine versus David Warner. I'm telling you, कोई नाम नहीं ले रहा, उसको खिलाएंगे, वही ओपनिंग करेगा, वही सब कुछ करेगा भाई, तुम देखो अभी.
Bhuvaneshwar Kumar, one full delivery, one short delivery, Sunil Narine gone.
Yeah, fair enough. That would pretty much happen.
Sunil Narine used to scare. I definitely, Sunil Narine at time he was very scary as a batsman, because it's just that bat swing looks so clean. He was hitting everything, but ab nahi chalega wo sab. I think people have figured out what
even as an RCB fan, I'm not scared right now of Sunil Narine.
a huge statement there. That's a huge statement
That's a
right
huge
there. See,
statement. Yes.
exactly. I think that was the game. I think the indirectly the game which Sumedh is referring to. That's a game where Mr. Mr. Sanjay Manjrekar referred to Sunil Narine as WG Grace for God knows what reason.
What reason?
Yeah. Again, coming back to the game. I personally think there should be a good start at the top of the order. And as I was mentioning, there have been plenty of games where plenty of times we've played against Kolkata. And the Hyderabad as a franchise, the first ever game we played in 2008 was against Kolkata as well. The teams changed, obviously. But again, in 2019, we were in pole position to win the game, 48 to defend in the last 3 overs. And then comes Andre Russell, finishes the game with 3 balls remaining.
Yeah.
Exactly, 48 in 3 overs. And he's done that. He did that like 4 or 5 times in that entire season
RCB के
against
against भी किया
RCB.
था.
Exactly, and he did that to us as well. And he did that to Bhuvaneshwar Kumar, who was in decent touch back in the day. So you never know with Andre Russell. I just hope he takes a little bit of time to settle
Atul,
into the tournament, which is one
Atul का
match
जवाब
today.
यहाँ पर.
आज जाने दो. Yeah.
Narine versus Warner.
Ooh, that's good. That's fabulous. I personally remember how he battered Narine in the game where he scored 100 in Hyderabad. I think that was 2017 or 16. I don't remember. But yeah, he's had some good times against Narine. Let's see. Fingers crossed. But yeah, SRH, I think even a lot of people would agree. I think are slight favorites to win this game, at least on paper. Let's see. But in IPL, it barely matters.
Any score predictions?
I think it's going to be a 150-160 sort of a game.
Yeah.
To chase down, and I think the team batting second will just about nick it.
Fair enough. I think the team batting second we've seen in the last 2 games as well has had a slight advantage, and the chasing team has won. Coming to you now, Moriarty, क्या key battles रहेंगे आपके लिए कि KKR could actually triumph over Sunrisers Hyderabad? Which are the players that you think could actually have to win those 1v1 battles to expect that KKR wins today?
Rashid Khan versus everyone. हमें जीतनी पड़ेगी. नहीं तो we won't score. Having that thing कि हम लोग राशिद खान को 4 ओवर डिफेंड कर लेंगे, बहुत ज्यादा होता है 4 ओवर डिफेंड करने के लिए. If you think of it, so at least you need to go after him in 2 of those overs. And apart from it, भुवनेश्वर कुमार ठीक है, मुझे भी पसंद है, लेकिन उतना इशू नहीं होना चाहिए भुवी को भी खेलने के लिए. भुवी हैज द वेरिएशन, बट इतने खराब तो बैट्समैन नहीं है, होपफुली. So those battles, and apart from it, जब हम bowling कर रहे होंगे, a certain Kane Williamson in there, a certain David Warner, and low-key हम लोग इन्हीं की बात करते जाएंगे, and as Anurag mentioned, मनीष पांडे. तो वो थोड़ी सी टॉप ऑर्डर बैटल्स अगर हम जीत जाएंगे ना, तो फिर वो नीचे इतना इशू होना चालू हो जाता है. Kushagar Singh, Russell is great, but is he really?
Oh yeah, exactly. I was like, that's nice. That's
I hope it doesn't come to that, Kushagar. I hope it doesn't come to that. We win before that. So all in all, but I think a certain Tim Saudi knows how Andre Russell can be. A certain Mohammad Siraj knows how Andre Russell can be. So let's see. Let's hope that doesn't happen. But all in all, I think वो उनके टॉप ऑर्डर में और स्पेशली बॉलिंग उनकी जब तो राशिद खान कर रहा हो, वो बैटल थोड़ी सी केकेआर के लिए क्रूशियल रहेंगी. So all in all that.
Fair enough. Coming to you now, the other Atul on the live today. What are your predictions for the game? क्या लग रहा है किस direction में ये game जा सकता है? How crucial is the toss going to be on a day like this? Because चेन्नई में due factor जो हमें previously दिखा है, I think even in 2019 and probably in the first game as well, हमें वो due factor नहीं दिखा इतना. So do you think that is going to play in the minds, or you just go as you wish, probably by your strengths?
They should go by their strength. And one thing which will be really important on Chennai pitch is that the batsman who has got in, they need to make sure that they play a longer inning, because in the first match we saw like Surya Kumar Yadav got in but got out. Similarly, one other batsman from Mumbai as well got in and got out. Ishan Kishan, yes, correct. So had those two batsmen, continued for a bit longer, they could have made 180, 185 type of score, which would have been really challenging on those surfaces. So it will be really like key for both the teams and both the batsmen कि जो set हो रहा है वो लंबा खेले थोड़ा, ठीक है? Either it is Warner or either it is like Subman Gill from KKR. So that will be the key. And the main battle I will say in today's match will be SRH top order versus KKR, bowling lineup. The initial bowling lineup that will be done by I think Pat Cummins and
Prasidh
if I'm
Krishna,
not
yes.
wrong, Prasidh Krishna. Yes. So that will be the battle to look out for, and whoever wins that battle, chances are that that team will win the match as well in the end.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's actually true because post the top order, SRH batting lineup isn't scary. Isn't
Exactly.
even good enough, if I would say.
They can be put under
Yeah.
enormous pressure if their top order fails.
Yeah. Good one. Yeah.
Any predictions on the game, Atul?
So, if going by prediction, I would say I might prefer KKR this time around because also keeping in consideration. See, I'm a neutral fan, by the way. Before I give any
Koi baat nahi, bhai. Even if you're taking sides, no problem. You don't have to
the
explain
reason why I'm
yourself.
saying
It's fine.
KKR because I think
Yeah.
the bowling lineup of KKR, the fast bowling lineup, that will be a bit different from last time around. Pat Cummins had a really bad season last time around, but we should remember that it was played in UAE and this is India, and this might be a change that he is looking for, and this might bring a change in his performance as well. So I think KKR will just edge them in this contest.
Fair
You
enough.
You can predict any teams when you want. Just if you
Yeah.
predict KKR win, you will not appear again. That's it.
Anurag Kushagra ने दुखती नस में हाथ रख दे. Would love to see a super over. To be honest, the last time the two teams had a
यार
super
नहीं
over,
यार. SRH
Loki
has
Ferguson
shifted their
absolutely
Loki Ferguson.
destroyed. Loki Ferguson
Yeah.
destroyed the
Yeah.
whole SRH team in that very super over, and
यार
prior
दो
to that as well.
टाइप्स ने 2 run. I mean, who
Atul,
considers 2
याद
runs
है
in a
वो
super over?
the way Andre Russell bowled that final over, he had some leg sprain and he half आधे run up के साथ bowling कर रहा था. फिर भी डेविड वार्नर ने कुछ नहीं किया.
Bro, it's like
Yeah.
कि आंद्रे रसल उस सीजन सिर्फ स्पेन के साथ ही खेला था.
Yeah.
Unfit and just playing like that. But it was a bit skeptical on how Warner played, and if he got a bit of backlash, from the fans.
Yeah.
But मुझे
Even
कुछ नहीं
Warner
करना
was
है.
not having a good time.
हम जीत
Yeah.
गए.
It doesn't really matter at the end, does it? But हाँ, काफी interesting super over था वो. I genuinely loved the way Loki Ferguson bowled there. 2 run देना in a super over is quite commendable. I remember the last year as well, जो एक double super over हुआ था मुंबई का, जिसमें I think मोहम्मद शमी and जसप्रीत बुमराह bowled fantastically. And I think in super overs to see something like that is really really commendable. प्रणव, आते हैं आपके पास KKR पर्सपेक्टिव लेके, जैसे हमने अतुल से भी बात करी कि he said that maybe राशिद खान का जो एक बैटल है, which if you guys win that you possibly have a chance, but शुभमन गिल और आपके दूसरे जो ओपनर रहेंगे राहुल त्रिपाठी और नीतीश राणा और मे बी इवन टिम साइफर्ड, you don't know what's going to happen on day one. क्या लग रहा है कि how important is this combination going to be if KKR have to win today?
आई थिंक पहला तो बैटल कोच और प्लेयर्स के बीच में होगा कि कौन कहाँ खेल रहा है. वो बैटल पहले उनको जीतनी है कि भाई हमको बता दो क्या है, तो ही हमसे हो पाएगा, वरना नहीं हो पाएगा. अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट आई थिंक जो सेटल्ड यूनिट था, जो प्लेइंग 11 थी वो सही थी, सिर्फ पोजीशंस ऊपर
Yeah.
नीचे थी, तो उसके हिसाब से आई थिंक राहुल त्रिपाठी एंड शुभमन गिल शुड ओपन. उनको वो फ्री खेलने का मौका भी मिलना चाहिए कि आप खेलो जैसे खेलना है, कि आप प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस में ये ना बोलो स्ट्राइक रेट इज ये वो. भाई तू गेम खेलो आप, मतलब ये सब ठीक है, बोलने के लिए अच्छा लगता है कि ये दिस इज नॉट इम्पोर्टेंट, बट गेम खेलो. बाकी अगर जीत गए तो जीत गए, बिकॉज माई डॉक्टर सेड दिस टू मी लास्ट नाइट दैट माई टीम्स can't lose in 24 hours and Barcelona lost yesterday. तो मेरे हार्ट के लिए अच्छा नहीं होगा अगर केकेआर हार गया आज. तो आई हैव टू विन, केकेआर हैव टू विन इट फॉर मी, वरना भाई थोड़ा सा
आज
तकलीफ है
आज
मेरे को.
genuinely आज दिल को तकलीफ पहुंचने का अपॉर्चुनिटी है. प्रणव, डू यू genuinely hope though? I mean, आपको कुछ predictions है that could prefer KKR?
आई थिंक 170 अगर केकेआर ने पोस्ट कर दिया, ये पिच के लिए थोड़ा सा डिफिकल्ट होगा. एंड देन इफ यू सिर्फ स्टार्ट रियली वेल विद द बॉल, तो आई थिंक प्रेशर और बिल्डअप होता रहेगा हैदराबाद बैट्समैन के ऊपर, क्योंकि जैसे बाकी लोगों ने भी कहा कि मिडिल ऑर्डर पे उतना भरोसा नहीं है, क्योंकि उन्होंने उतना अच्छा क्लिक नहीं किया है. तो अगर टॉप ऑर्डर पे ज्यादा प्रेशर बिल्डअप होगा, सो दे माइट लूज देयर विकेट एंड वी माइट विन. सो
Fair enough. काफी उम्मीदें है, and I guess उम्मीदें होनी भी चाहिए. It's the start of a new season. There is obviously new optimism that comes with it. And as I think we talked about it yesterday as well, all the 8 teams in the IPL this season are very capable of winning the title on their day. So ये बहुत ही important factor है to consider for all of the fans who will come here with this season with a lot of excitement. Obviously, I hope everybody stays home and stays safe while they watch the IPL, because I think that is an even bigger picture that people need to look at while the IPL is going on. Have fun, but I think have responsible fun, I would rather say. Coming to you now, Vipul, आपके predictions क्या है इस मैच के लिए?
आई वॉज गोइंग टू से सुपर ओवर बट फिर केडी भाई ने मेरा स्पॉटलाइट छीन लिया कमेंट सेक्शन में, तो या मे बी अ क्लोज एसआरएच विन टुडे.
Okay, any particular predictions on what happens?
Look, I mean, it's just the start of the tournament. I think with Sunriser Hyderabad, there are a few players who are going to play definitely, and then based on the conditions, they will fill those vacant slots in the playing 11 around them. For KKR, I guess the playing 11 is more or less it's decided. They just need to decide whether they will go in with the fourth fast bowling option or the third spinner. But I think there's only one thing that they need to keep in mind, that Morgan, DK, and Russell, they need to make better use of them as batters. And
Yeah.
I think T20 cricket, you can fix your top three before the game, but after that, everything else depends on matchups and match situation. So the moment a wicket falls in the 11th or the 12th over, I think
Darwaza
Russell
खोलो
has
कोई.
to be the sorry. Russell has to be the man in next. So, yeah, I mean, if Russell can play for 20-25 balls, then he can have a genuine impact on the game.
Yeah, I think he will genuinely. And I think one last question that people want to know with terms of Vipul is, Vipul, have you recovered? Like everything is fine. कल के जो मार पड़ी रात में उससे हो गया, अभी सब ठीक है या अभी भी नाइटमेयर्स
हाँ,
आ रहे
मैंने कमेंट सेक्शन में, जैसा कि आप सब जानते हैं, रात को कमेंट किया था, और रोहन भाई जिस भी कंपनी के लिए काम करते हैं उसका डिलीवरी काफ़ी फास्ट है, तो रात को ही मुझे कोक मिल गया था स्पेशल वाला, तो अब गम काफ़ी कम हो चुका है.
60-90 मिल चुका है तुमको तो या fair enough. You have recovered it seems. Sumit, coming last to you for with your predictions for the game. Where do you think this game turns, and at night when we were doing the live, क्या लग रहा है आपको, कौन से अतुल खुश होंगे? I mean, I think Atul Kumar will be happy either ways, but will it be Moriarty who will be celebrating, or will it be Anurag who will be celebrating?
I just have neutral thoughts right now. I'll say the team batting second will win. It'll be a close match, and I'm just gonna go a bit forward and just say the team will chase 168. It's just I'm just gonna try my luck, and we'll have a last ball finish, but the team chasing will probably win.
Okay, that's quite specific.
ऐसे
168 ये
ऐसे
total.
एक्साइटमेंट मत कम कर यार, सुपर ओवर बोल. ऐसा ऐसा टीम चेजिंग विल विन ऐसा नहीं, सुपर ओवर बोल.
सुपर ओवर ऑलमोस्ट हमको फर्स्ट मैच में दिखाई था. आई मीन yesterday there was absolutely no way it's going to be a super over. क्या पता, third time's a lucky charm, we might just get a super over today, get an extended session as Navjeevan likes it. So I will just take last few
And
comments and
yeah, one more thing. Yeah, I was gonna say the spinners will play a massive role in this, but at the same time, it will be the change-up deliveries from the pacers that will probably affect the outcome of the game, because we saw how in the later half of the innings these change-ups were the ones that were bringing the wickets, were stopping the runs. So more than who spins it or who bowls more pace, it's gonna be who bowls more slow and gives the ball more time and uh, more area to just go with it. Yeah.
यस, कल ड्वेन ब्रावो से भी दिखा हमें, इसके पहले मुंबई आरसीबी के मैच में भी दिखा. सो देयर इज डेफिनेटली दैट टू कंसीडर. हिस्ट्री सेज विलियमसन disagrees. I guess it is about the super over, about KKR winning in the first place. Pawan says hi Pawan. Doesn't matter what he thinks if he's not in the playing 11, right? Amit says Pawan said it will be a high scoring match. Srishti is here saying Amit is just here to trigger Anurag Pesara is what probably she thinks. I hope Common says goes for a toss. KKR plays Narine but not Shakib, while SRH plays Bairstow and not Williamson. पता नहीं मतलब अमित आपको क्या चाहिए? This will be a. I think Amit is hoping for a very spicy live at night. Maybe that is why he's saying कि है ना सबको थोड़ा चिढ़ा के रख दो. No matter who wins, आज live में बहुत मजा आएगा. That is what I think he agrees with. किसी की घंटी बजी. विपुल भाई चेक करो CSK in the bottom. हे कहा इस उम्र में सीनियर सिटीजन्स को इतना दौड़ा रहे हो is what.
So basically, if Bairstow and Narine are playing, if Shakib and Williamson are playing, then it will be good cricket. But if Narine and Bairstow are playing, it will be great content. So
Yeah, content is king. ये कहीं पे हमने सुना था, and maybe that is what Amit
not
Dubey is trying
really,
to
but yeah, fine. let's say.
He's trying to probably put that thought in front of all of us. Thank you to all the panelists. I think आज 7 panelists है, काफी interesting discussion रहा आज के match का. Do tune into the Sports Doyen, हमारा website where we have previews as well for the game, video content which you view on YouTube, also on Facebook, a lot of video content there as well. Do check it out. Our IPL team previews are there for both SRH on KKR in terms of the probable 11, जिसमें अतुल अनुराग है for the KKR video, and I guess it's the same combination again for SRH as well.
Rohan and Atul for the
Rohan,
KKR.
Rohan and Atul for the KKR, and Anurag and Atul for the SRH video. So वो वीडियो बिल्कुल देखिएगा. Due to into V Express Sports as well. Atul is here from V Express Sports. काफी इंटरेस्टिंग कंटेंट रहता है. रोहन गुलाटी की जो रील्स होते हैं उस पे स्पेशली those are absolute fun to watch. Coal Dust, तो वो भी देखिए. There are auction के reactions भी है जो काफी इंटरेस्टिंग है. I wish all of you guys would go and check all of that out as well. And we will see you in the mid innings live on Instagram, which will be somewhere around 9 to 9:15, and then obviously in the post match live as soon as the game gets over. We were live 11:15 yesterday, so somewhere around that time. Do tune in then, and until then, we will see you soon.